From days of long ago. From uncharted regions of the universe.
Robots in disguise.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Yo, Joe!
Hey, we are canceling the apocalypse!
Man, that
Hey everyone.
intro was wicked.
What was that, dude?
That intro was wicked.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I spent like a whole day editing that together and just like grabbing stuff off of YouTube. I don't know if you noticed, but my internet cut out right in the middle of that, and I like right back into the stream. It was really funny.
Yeah, you're coming in a little choppy. I don't know if it's my internet or yours or whatever.
No, it's mine. It's mine. I already know. I can say that.
Mine's been pretty crappy lately too. What's up, everybody? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Largo's here. He gave me the gremlins. Thank you, Largo.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for inviting me on, man. It's awesome.
Cool. Well, I mean, because my internet's cutting in and out, I want to make sure I get some things across. First off, I really wanted to have you on because you introduced me to Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, which is now my second favorite. I say second favorite. It's like it's neck and neck, really, with Action Force as my favorite toy line right now.
Same.
And I'll never forget it because it's like I'm looking around, like I was just dabbling into Action Force, and I was like trying to go, okay, I need to know more about these figures, and I found your videos. And then right below is like Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. What's this? And I watched one of your videos and it was like, oh, this looks cool. And I remember my comment was like, wow, this looks cool. I'm going to give these a try. And you said, you're going to love them. That was your response. I was like, that's bold. And I ordered a couple and damn, you were right.
It's fun, man. They're so fun. It's between Action Force and AWOTK, man, that's if I collected three things, it would be like Legend Scale Transformers, Action Force, and AWOTK. I would be okay if that were the only three things that I collect, and it's pretty close to that now, actually.
Yeah, you've started you're really digging into third parties right now.
Yeah, I always have, well, I don't want to say I always have. When I started the channel up, it was right around the time that Hasbro was doing the newer War for Cybertron trilogy. I was like, oh, it's a great time to start collecting again. And I didn't know anything about anything. as far as like what third party. Let me say this too. Sorry if you guys can't hear me. I lost my voice last week and I'm just now finding it. So if I sound like I've been on the wrong side of town for too long, that's why. It's strictly somewhat flu related. It's not blowjob on the corner of the street related, I promise. Sorry, I'm not sticking to it. But yeah, so when I started doing, third party, I started doing masterpiece scale third party stuff, and I was like, this is awesome. This is what I used to tell people that this is what I thought the figures were like in my head when I was playing with them as a kid. Then room got to be an issue, and a good friend of mine, Deluxe Baldwin, introduced me to legend scale figures, and I was like, there we go. That's the ticket. They look great. They're not as expensive if you don't count how big they are, and they take up a lot less room. So yeah, that, and, folks like you and other collectors that introduced me into some other lines, and I don't know, man, it's all a shit show. It's a stupid addiction for cool stuff for people that are too old to play with toys.
Well, I don't think you're ever too old to play with toys, but I agree with you on, my memories of Transformers are not the realities. It's like,
No, not at all.
yeah, I found a vintage Astro Train and I was like, wow, I do not remember this being this way. I remember it being much cooler.
Big respect to folks that collect the vintage stuff. I have, like I said, I've got good friends, Patriot Prime, that he almost entirely collects vintage stuff, and I think that's awesome. But it just, for me, if I'm 100% honest with myself, they're really ugly figures. Outside of the nostalgia, they don't look good. I'm not dissing anybody that collects. I hope anyone that collects G1, I don't care. It is what it is. I just don't think they're that attractive to look at when I can collect for some, compared to vintage stuff or around the same price. I can collect something that looks like I wanted it to look, or it was in my imagination, rather than, those little guys that were bricks that could hardly move.
Yeah. I mean, it was very innovative for the time, but it's like, times move on. And it's kind of like how I feel about, and I had a few discussions with our friend It's Chad. I've had a few discussions with him about it. It's like, I love the anniversary type stuff after about the first year and a half of that being released, of G.I. Joe. I really love those figures. G.I. Joe is my favorite of all time. But it's like, that was almost like the pinnacle where Joe could go.
Yeah, and it's
even with Classified. I mean, it's like Classified's okay, but it's not something I'm gonna dive into like I did with Anniversary Joe.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and the same thing with Joe for me. That's why I'm not. It's kind of the same G1 problem with me. I'm not an O-ring collector, at least not a vintage O-ring collector, because again, I was playing with Shipwreck and Ace and all these G.I. Joes as a kid, and they looked amazing to me back then when I was, 10 years old, 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But Classified, I hoped, was going to be kind of the masterpiece of that, if that makes sense. That's what I hope.
Oh, yeah.
It's not quite that. It still hits that nostalgia bone for me. And honestly, if it weren't for the nostalgia side of it, I probably wouldn't do Classified at all. That's just the truth of it. But there are some 3 3/4 lines out there that are starting to. I mean, you got stuff like 17. Oh man. Of course, I'm going to forget right now. I didn't get it on the Kickstarter.
Strike Force Alpha just came out.
Strike Force Alpha, Skeletron. Is that right?
Yeah.
Skeletron.
That's it.
I wish I would have got in on that. There's some cool stuff out there for 118 or 3 3/4, whatever this scale is now, that I could see myself getting into again. But Classified, the 6-inch line, it just kind of like brought me back into collecting Joes again because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I wouldn't have gotten into Joes.
Yeah.
I don't care about vintage enough. Again, I have nothing but respect for folks that love getting those old toys. I completely understand it, but just
Right.
for me, it wasn't. It didn't tempt me to go hunting down those older stuff to do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
Largo
I mean,
does it too. There's a lot of good stuff to cherry pick out there.
oh, yeah, he does.
So much,
Yeah, there's tons.
so much.
I'm in the same boat. It's like I have all ring Joes from when I was a kid, like, and I bought a few later in life. But it's like I feel like that collection's done. You know, there's a couple of holes in my anniversary collection, maybe, but that's it. I mean, you know, and with classified, it's like it's novel to have a 6-inch version of an old favorite, but past that, I'm like, no. I mean, you throw up some of the new ones. What is it?
Let me tell you where that novelty stops. Right.
Okay.
This is where the novelty stops. This GI Joe Classified to me was supposed to be, again, the masterpiece stuff. Right.
Right.
Then you get this.
Yeah. That's the kind of crap that's really knocked it out for me.
It's like it's like I'm playing music. It's bad.
You had the Viper review where it's like you couldn't even put the peg in the hole because it was so soft.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, her backpack wouldn't even go. I think that was
Yeah.
her. It was one of those. Look at it. I mean, look. It's there.
Oh yeah, it's garbage.
Now Destro is a wounded warrior. But anyway, I just opened that today too. It was the card back retro Destro.
Really?
I got some diorama stuff that I wanted to. No, I just wanted to see how it looked. So I put Destro and Cobra Commander up, and the his tank Cobra Commander. And I just opened that guy up, and I went to put him in a sitting position. And I was like, "You son of a bitch!"
Wow.
Yeah, it was crap. And they're not all like that, but
right.
It's just,
I mean, you get the guns and fire around corners. Yeah, that's always very disappointing.
yeah, I was pretty ticked off at that, but I wasn't expecting much either. So yeah, I don't know how deep I'll get further into classified because I think I've got most of what I really wanted back here somewhere that and more than I probably should have gotten. Robert's gone. It's just us. It's just us now, and I have no control over anything. It's time for public nudity and to get kicked off of YouTube. We're gonna see if we can get Robert's channel banned. I don't have control of the chat. I can't highlight anything. This is a weird feeling. Oh, he's back. I see his wheels are spinning. What's up, Jason? Largo. I don't know who else is here. Who else is here? While he's not on here, he can't stop me from saying it. So tonight on Robert's Infinite Realms, he's giving away his entire collection to the first person that comments. Give me Robert's stuff. He'll mail it all to you free of charge. His entire collection is all yours. He told me that before we started.
Oh,
and
maybe I'm back.
Oh, never mind. Forget everything I said. I understand the issues with internet connection, man. I just had to fix that on my end.
I feel like doing that pink voice. That's not if you can hear me. Okay, we're back.
I can hear you.
Okay. Kato takeover, all naked Stratos.
That's what I told him. I said, we're going to get you kicked off of YouTube tonight. It's time for news.
All right.
We're going full frontal on Robert's Infinite Realms.
Oh, man.
Full Monty.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, enough about classified because I'm only in for Alpine Bazooka and Quick Kick. and the original Dreadnoks, and then I'm done.
Yeah, I've gotten all the ones plus some that I probably need, so I'll cherry pick nostalgia from here on out. Yeah, you were asking about AWOK earlier.
Yeah.
That line, I always have a hard time collecting, and maybe it's just me. I have a hard time collecting new lines that I have zero nostalgia with.
Right.
And I know that maybe that's not, it's the way it is. But there was something about AWOK that kind of struck me as almost nostalgic. Like I felt like it was it could have been something I watched, and maybe it was close enough to He-Man, Thundercats, that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah,
got to know Jason and the team real good, and they're awesome. And a buddy of mine and I started the podcast, which we haven't done an episode in a while, but yeah, so it just kind of all fell into place. Same way with Action Force, like once you get to know the folks involved, and I'm not saying I know Bobby Falla, I'm not trying to do that, but just the way he interacts with the community, a lot of us feel like we know him, if that makes sense. Don't misinterpret that into me saying, hey, we're buds. But like Jason now, me and Jason at Spiro Toys, we've gotten pretty close. I consider him a friend. But folks like that, the other indie creators out there that I've mentioned that in 2024, that's probably where my collection is going to go, more towards the indie side of things.
I'm the same way.
Legions, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like the indie stuff is like, wow, that's really cool. I was never I watched the cartoons for Thundercats, but beyond that, I was never a fan of the toys or anything like that. And when I first started looking into AWOK, and like then I read the comic, and I'm like, ooh, this is a cool idea. I like it. And that won me over. I mean, obviously, media wins me over every time. And if it's a comic, great, I'll read a comic.
That's another thing is like I gave up on a lot of comics. Just did not like the vast majority of storytelling that was going on in comics. I'll leave it at that. I think a lot of us probably feel the same way. But I read his issue 1, and I was like, oh, this feels like comics again. Like it's just a good, crazy fantasy sci-fi story that's just, kind of good versus evil, but you don't know a lot. It was just really good storytelling, and the artist, I liked the art in it. And yeah, like Largo said, great storytelling.
It is.
AWOK comics going to lead to a cartoon. I can assure you that if that opportunity comes up, I guarantee you Jason would jump on. So if something like that, I've joked with him a lot. Like every time I see a great animated series, like I don't know, the Castlevania series on Netflix, or Ex Machina, which is on Amazon Prime. I don't know if you've ever watched that. It's brilliant.
I've seen that.
Like, these are the folks that need to animate Animal Wars of the Kingdom. So I keep sending him links to these like Canadian artists, companies. Like, hey man, these guys will be great.
So
certainly hope that they lead to an animated series.
So let's talk about that, because you've kind of become an unofficial spokesman for AWOK. I mean, I
guess in some ways I accidentally became an official one because of the podcast. Like Jason was kind enough to say it's the official podcast. But yeah, I've kind of, I guess I've kind of become the laser pants of AWOK.
I was about to draw that analogy. Good one.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case or not, but I hate to insult Ryan that way, but
Ryan can handle it.
I'm joking, but yeah, it's just, if you get excited about a line and then you like the folks that are involved in making it, I've been that guy. I've been called a shill for AWOK. I'm like, well, fuck it. There's worse things to be a shill for. It's kind of like Action Force. For every figure from Valaverse that I've gotten, I've had 0 issues. Nothing but great customer service stories, pretty much coming from that. And it's Like if you get lines like that and AWOK doing the same kind of thing, yeah, okay, I'll be a shield for it. Whatever, it's good stuff. It's
Yeah.
So
I've ordered directly from Spiro, and I've never had a problem.
I mean, they had some issues in the beginning. Like he was thoroughly overwhelmed in the beginning with the Kickstarter. So I get it. There's plenty of folks out there that probably feel the opposite of me that have had issues with the Kickstarter stuff. I can't speak to that. I can only talk about my experience, and it's been great.
Yeah.
So I understand why folks would feel a way or one way or the other. But
I'm an outsider. I mean, I very much consider myself an outsider looking in, and like I got into it a little bit late, but not too late, and everything with Spiro went smoothly. I bought a cup, the ones that came with no weapons; they just came with hands. I can't even remember what.
Oh yeah, the ancients they call them.
Yeah, the ancients. I bought a couple of them from Hello Dope, but most of my business has been straight with Spiro, and I've never had a problem.
They, like I said, in the beginning, it was a tough go because it was him and his dad doing it, and what better or worse, that's just what it was. And it took a long time to get the flow going. They had tons of different issues switching from backer kit to shop. So I get it. There were issues. He had huge issues with international shipping and how the post office and UPS. I don't know if people overseas understand how much the USPS, like the postal system, absolute. If anybody here works for the postal service, I apologize, but most of the time it's trash. Individually,
We'll try to
people
keep
are
it down
great.
because my next door neighbor works for the post office.
And the system sucks. The people are great.
Oh no, she says it sucks, so that's cool.
Yeah. The so yeah, I know there were some issues.
Actually, want to talk about this later. But.
They've got. Oh yeah, that was so
that was good.
That's so stupid. I was way happier about that than I think anybody realizes. Yeah. So with the AWOK stuff, I believe everyone's got all their stuff that they ordered that could get it. I also know for a fact I've worked in retail, I've worked in distribution some. I know that a lot of the customer service issues are not on the company. A lot of them are on the people involved because customers are assholes a lot.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of stuff to talk about there. But yeah, the next few waves coming out are going to be amazing. They're going to do it through Kickstarter again. So I'm looking forward to those. A lot of people have asked me before, like, why the heck are they doing Kickstarter again for the new waves? My answer is always the same. It's virtually every figure in this new lineup is almost like starting over. They're all new bucks. When that takes a lot, when you're you're doing new bucks, new molds, and everything, and then almost all these you have the females, the speedsters, the lizards, the Hannibal mold, which is like in between their largest and small molds. So it's all new stuff. This was the fastest way that he could think to get more bucks out there all at once rather than like a new buck every year or something like that. So it was just the quickest and easiest way to do that. And Kickstarter does most of the inventory work for you too. The big difference this time is he's got help and he's got an actual warehouse, and things should flow a lot smoother this go around. Nope, there he goes again. All right, here goes the nudity, everyone. Just kidding, not going to do that. So what did we give away last time? We gave away Robert's entire collection. Does he have a car? Let's give his car away. First person to comment, give me Robert's ride. Robert will mail the title and the keys to his car to you. And I mean, he's just one of the most generous people I've ever met. Yeah, I promise it's actually Mountain Dew. I'm not hiding whiskey in there.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Well, as I was saying, by Largo, I just wanted to say about him. Great supporter. He wants you to do an infinite playlist, but I agree with you. It's a fine balance. And when I first heard he was doing another Kickstarter, I was like, what? And then the reasoning, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's tough. I mean, I think with stuff like this, I can only imagine on the creative side of things and that whole side of things, you just kind of have to make a decision and go with it and figure out what's the way to do it. I think he's on the right path with this, how he's launching this.
Right.
I mean, otherwise, it's just we wouldn't get as many new looking figures. It would be more repaints, more remolds, rather than 2 or 3 waves of brand new molds. So I like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it also on the Valaverse side. It's like, yeah, great line. Bobby's very creative on reusing molds, but let's face it, one of the weak points of that line is there's a lot of reuse.
Yeah, I think for me, here's what's funny. So I get really, I'm a hypocrite. So I'm gonna throw that out there right up front, so nobody has to say it for me. When it comes to like Transformers and stuff, repaints annoy me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I've tried to figure this out why they annoy me and I think it's because they do 2 things. Because they're a robot and vehicle, right? When you get a repaint, it's almost like you're doubling up on the repaint. You're going to get the same alt mode, the same transformation. It doesn't feel new enough. Military figures, action figures, when you do a repaint with a few different tweaks of molding some new armor or whatever, it feels different to me. I don't know why. Military figures especially don't bother me, because I just figure uniform. I mean, they're kind of going to look a certain way anyway.
And I think it depends on the paint you use too. I thought, Warpath Eclipse used a lot of the same parts of Pandora, but it was done in a way that was very different, and it made it seem fresh and new.
Yeah.
I mean, I've set those figures side by side, and it's like, wow, this is not the same figure, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it with a lot of the Wave 1 stuff. Like when I was doing reviews for them, I had to genuinely look at like the creases in the pants to find out, is this the same mold, that kind of thing. And there's so much, and another big props to indie creators out there like AWOK, Action Force, and Mythic Legions. The pop and swap, and Action Force can pop and swap, but it's not designed to pop and swap.
Right.
And same way with Action Force for the most part. It's a good way to do the remolds and repaints, because not only, they're using more parts or using similar parts, but at the factory they're mixing those up enough. I mean, come on, man. We're probably roughly the same age from the same generation.
Mm-hmm.
G.I. Joe, not so much Transformers until later. G.I. Joe, He-Man, Thundercats. I mean, they were basically $3, not $3, 3 molds, 3 or 4 molds that got just, let's put green moss on this one. Let's put a sucker head on this one.
It's funny that you mentioned
the same figure.
I was going to say one of the big ones for me when I was a kid was when they did Moss Man, and I'm like, that's just Beast Man with moss on him.
Yeah, that's.
And I actually got mad at Masters of the Universe. Not that they reused, because the whole line was reused. It was just that they thought, you think I'm that stupid? I'm not going to see this.
Yeah, I mean, it was 100% Beast Man with green grass glued to him. So, I mean, we grew up with repaints being the way. I mean, the G.I. Joe 3 3/4 those were almost all the same figure. You know, you had a female mold and a male mold, and then you had a couple of extra stuff tacked onto it to make it a different character. So
Yeah, but with military, it gets away with it a little better than like Transformers. Like Hoist and Trailblazer were the same figure with a few.
yeah, I 100% agree. I think there's something about military or even human figures in general kind of get away with it. And Warriors of the Kingdom, you know, there was a few molds in that first couple waves that were reused really well. And
yeah, oh no, I spotted the reuse and I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm if it's done basically if it's done well, I don't care.
Right.
But again, I'm a hypocrite because for some reason it bothers me in Transformers. I don't know why. It just is what it is. So
Hoist and Trailblazer and oh god, what was the Lamborghini fire chief and
Red Alert. Yeah.
Red Alert, thank you. Those two bugged me a great deal. Not that I didn't like those characters. I just did not like that it was total reuse from previous molds. I was like, come on, man. Do something a little different. I mean, at least they tried with Hoist. But
yeah, and I think it bothers me more now just because I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just I don't think it's done that well very often.
no.
In the Transformers world, I just don't think it's done well that often. There are times when it's done pretty well, and I get surprised. But you know, you try to figure out like, you know, where did they use this from? What figure was this? But sometimes it is done well, but most of the time it's not, and it's just I don't know. I don't spend a lot of money on. I don't army build anyway, even with Action Force, and I've done it more with AWOK than anything else. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I don't army build at all. Really, I don't think I have. I don't think I have a single duplicate Joe that wasn't like another release of a figure, like Zartan, you know, or multiple Destros because of Pimp Daddy or whatever. But yeah, but I didn't.
You know, I said when the Ross and Ollie's things was happening, if I found one of those $5 Crimson Guards, I would buy another one, maybe two.
Yeah,
but I never found one, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, but like I didn't buy like 6 Cobra Troopers or whatever.
Right.
I already have a hard enough time fitting everything onto the shelf. Like I don't want to try to fit 6 more figures on here of the same thing. And maybe it's a little different as a reviewer too, because maybe that has something to do with it a little bit. But I don't know. I guess probably all got something to do with all of it. A little bit of everything.
I mean, I bought 3 of the Steel Brigades from Valiverse, but then I realized it was like one has a gold head. Ultimately, one had a gold head, one had a silver head, and one had the heavy weapons pack. So I was like, actually, I was just getting all the variants, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like that, I don't consider variants. It's just me. I don't consider variants necessarily army building either. Like I'm going to get. I have. This is where the hypocrisy comes in. I will get any variant of Steel Brigade that I can. I didn't. I don't think I got the gold head, but like the desert or Arctic, you know, I'm going to get all those.
Getting both those.
It's a cool looking figure. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I've got to find another desert rat though. I gave one away to a friend's kid, the original desert rat that I got. The only other one I have is the one that Tony signed at Joe Fest, and I don't want to open that one up. It's the only thing I've kept in the box. So I got to find another desert rat, I think, but that's going to be the closest I probably come to army building in that. Like I don't even typically buy the trooper figures from Action Force, like the equivalent of the Ancients and AWOK, the ones that you're going to buy. I don't typically get those
I bought
Either
the
really.
Spec Ops and the Delta Trooper, and I do like them. And I bought the female variant. I like them. And after I got
Yeah.
those, it's like I may get the Arctic one just because that's a little bit interesting. Because I like that. I kind of like that green color on them.
And that's another thing that Bobby is making me a hypocrite out of, because he'll come up with something like the Arctic Troop Builder, the Arctic Warrior, and then he'll release the Arctic Sniper Kit. And I'm like, well, fuck. Now I'm going to get a troop builder because I want that sniper. I want that
Yeah.
Arctic sniper. But that's the way to do it. In the same way with AWOK and the Ancients. Yeah, you've got these little troop builder figures, but the accessory packs now make that its own thing. Now it's not just
And
a
armor
builder. It could be somebody now.
Yeah. Got the armor
So,
pack
again,
too, which I intend on buying soon.
Oh man, did you get the head pack?
I did not. Not yet.
Dude,
That's my next. That and the armor packs are my next thing.
that head pack. This makes me hate the fact that I don't get troop building, because now I want. Yeah, now. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You were probably thinking of like the
AWOK one. Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, that too. Those two.
Yeah.
Same. But this makes me wish that I would have gotten all those little troop builders, because you got basically every color that you need. I don't know, man. It really annoys me. I have a love-hate relationship with Valaverse. I love them. And AWOK.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, is like, make no mistake, I still buy AWOK stuff. I'm not, it's not all just, they're not just shoving it in the door. I still pre-order like everybody else. And like this head pack right here, this and the AWOK head pack, to me, kind of set the bar, because the fact that they sculpted in faces on all those gas masks just blows me away.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I mean, that's just
I
crazy.
admit I wanted to see a little bit of those from other people before I actually bought them. And now that I have, I'm like, ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, I haven't even opened mine yet, because I'm tempted. So you talked about Action Force earlier.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that because that was cool.
Well, let's segue into Action Force, man.
All right.
So when that came out, I'll go ahead and show this. I was trying to come up, like, I was like, damn it, I've got to make an action figure. I'm in a comic book. I've got to make an action figure. So
that's
I ordered the Reed Richards head. The figure was originally African American. If you remember this figure when it came out,
I do remember that.
I was like, well, fuck, I gotta match some kind of. I gotta meet the caucasity of it, so I tried to blend make the skin tone match. But this was the close. Reed Richards' head is about as close as I could get with a little bit of paint to putting me in Action Force. So there you go. Yeah, that was a cool thing, man. Quentin reached out, the artist and writer that did Action Force. He reached out, and we still talk. Like, we've actually become friends through that. When he sent me some, he asked me first. He was like, "Hey, would you mind if I use your likeness in a little comic that I'm doing? I can't give too much away." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I said, "As long as you don't make me out to be a dick or something, like an idiot." And he's like, "Don't worry, everybody's an idiot in here." I was like, "Oh, okay." Then he sent me a couple of bits of art from it, and I was like, "Dude, yes, please do this. I don't even care if I'm the only one that reads it. Just do it." Yeah, it was really cool.
I totally cracked up when it was like you guys sitting in the RV watching the New Colonia base blow up. I was laughing my head off. I was just like, wow, this is so cool.
Hopefully everyone that's watching this will have seen the comic, but I guess I won't spoil it.
That's a minor spoiler, but yeah, that was a cool scene.
Yeah. I was just saying that the I guess, the villain of the book. And I told the wife she's really good at sculpting stuff and she's very
Mhm.
creative and crafty. And I was like, I need you to make this guy out of Sculpey, and I'm going to take one of the troop builders, and I'm going to make those two characters,
That's
and
great.
and put on the shelf. So hopefully she does it. It'll be awesome.
That's
Yeah.
great. That is really awesome.
Yeah, I want to do that. That's probably one of the next like crafty projects I want to work on is making the villain from Action Farce into a figure to put on the shelf. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
want to
that
do
was
that.
such a great surprise, and I was like, "What is this?" And it's like, "Oh my, this is really bad and really good at the same time."
Yeah, so good. And Quentin's such a good dude. And
Yeah,
he is an awesome guy that has just some crazy talent and work ethic as far as how he cranks out art. It is ridiculous. He did the artwork on this, I guess, the current wave uh, of. Do I have any of the boxes around? I think they're in the other room. But like the troop builder,
uh-huh.
the white box that's all Quentin's art. I think on this
Oh,
wave.
I didn't even realize that.
This, I don't think this isn't him. I don't think. No, he didn't do the kill switch, but the current wave that's
Mhm.
in these boxes, that's his art. If
Oh,
I'm not
cool.
mistaken. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah,
amazing. I didn't even know that.
really, really, really good dude. And if you don't follow him on Facebook or Instagram, I think he's entering I think Todd McFarlane has an art contest going on right now,
I
and
just
he's
saw some.
in.
Yeah, I just saw his entry. Yeah,
So
it
good,
looks really cool.
so good. Yeah, it's incredible. Again, it helps that he's a stand-up, like really cool dude. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably the main thing about starting YouTube that I think surprised me the most. I started, I think, in 2018, 18 or 19. I really just did it because I had lost my job and I was looking for something to do until something else came along.
That was something I was going to segue into. Is like what brought you to YouTube.
So I was, so I had basically one job that I really, really cared about that I had to travel a lot for.
Mhm.
So finding a filler job in between travel trips was tough. And I had finally found one. Believe it or not, it was oh, there he is right there. We were just talking about you, Quinn. We were speaking the devil.
Kato.
Yeah, so um, I lived at the beach. I lived in Myrtle Beach for a while until recently we moved. And I found a job. It was a really cool job, really laid back. They catered to the fact that I could get called away fairly quickly, be gone for a couple weeks, and
Mhm.
so they catered to that really well. Super nice people. It was at a moonshine distillery of all things.
Oh Lord.
One of those like vacation-y test out the moonshine places, stuff like that.
Know the type of
Oh,
work you're talking about. I worked in the Jim Beam distillery. I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, yeah. So for the most part, I was the guy behind the counter, making people laugh and handing the little tester shots out there, all that good stuff. But anyway, uh, short story long, hurricane, we had to evacuate. When we came back, they closed the place down.
Ah.
And I was like, oh, shit, now what? The one job wasn't making quite enough to really pay the bills. But I didn't want to leave that job. So I had to try to find something else.
Mhm.
It's kind of the job I still currently do that thankfully has become a little more fruitful. Um, but so I was in a pretty low place, right? This was pre-COVID, so none of that. But we didn't know the world was going to stop soon.
Right.
But yeah, so I've always watched toy guys on YouTube, especially Transformer stuff or nostalgic stuff. Imgo, a few other guys that I consider friends now. I watched, Patriot Prime, Deluxe Baldwin. There were a couple other guys that started around the same time I did. My wife was super supportive. She was like, just do it. Have some fun for a little bit until you find something, whatever. So that's what I did. I started putting Transformers on YouTube, and I was absolutely terrible at it. Absolutely horrible. I keep my first video on there just so I can look back at it and go, why the fuck was I spending 35, 40 minutes on something that should have taken 10 max? So it's hilarious. Lighting, there was no lighting. It was so bad. I'm not taking it down. And then I met a couple other guys who started around the same time I did. And we became fast friends, and I've had a couple of them over for dinner, and they've stayed at the house, and we've hung out, and met folks at conventions through it, and you and Jason at AWOK, and had Bobby on the channel to talk to him really early on before Action Force fully launched. I had him on to talk about it, which was super cool. I got to meet Stan Bush. What the heck, man? Like, we've
That's the touch.
Me and Stan Bush have conversations now. Like, it's weird. If nothing else ever happens out of this, then that was all cool stuff. That was totally worth it.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's why I keep doing it. I could give a rat's ass about. Obviously, I could give a rat's ass about making money on YouTube, because don't do this if you think you're going to make any of this money back. It ain't happening. Unless, of course, you're 3POA and you get 5,000 super chats every live stream. You might.
Ryan says, does he count his money?
I'm just kidding. A little bitter. Just kidding.
I've made jokes like that.
No.
Ryan to his face. Well, not to his face.
Yeah.
I've never actually met him, but yeah, I've made those jokes.
Yeah. I know. He's a super nice guy. Yeah. Good dude.
I know. I intended to go to PowerCon this year, and I just couldn't make it. Just things came up, and I just couldn't make it up there.
That was so much fun. That was way more fun than I thought it would be. I was graciously invited to go with the Spiro team to help them at the booth or at the table there, and that was awesome. We got to see Bobby and Ryan, and I got to meet Articulated Ninja, which super nice guy.
I love Ninja to death.
Yeah, they're all really nice people, man. Without getting into too much, I know how a lot of people feel about those guys. I think that's a shame. That actually hurts my heart a little bit, because I'm like, these guys, they're really good guys, man. Like, it really, I don't care if anyone doesn't like me, but if someone doesn't like my friends, I take offense to that, and I'm like, but they're awesome,
Yeah,
they're good people.
I mean, I've had conversations with Ninja for private messages, but not face to face. But I've always made the joke with him. I said, when I run into you, you're getting a hug. I don't care. Yeah,
he's a super nice guy. Ryan's always a good dude. Bobby's always busy, but he's always, he's never not spoken or never felt. To me, he never put on that he was, better than anyone or uppity. He just speaks his mind, and I don't know.
Some people don't like
have a problem with that. Yeah, I mean, it's funny to me that the people that don't like that he speaks his mind are able to say that because they're speaking theirs. So it's just two sides of the same thing. I don't get into that. I don't care what anybody collects, and unless you're spending my money, I don't expect you to care what I collect, and I'm not spending
Right.
yours, so I don't care what you collect.
Sure.
I
I
don't,
enjoy.
I don't get. I don't really get into a lot of that. I find some of
I
it funny.
enjoy.
And some of it fun.
I just enjoy the fun of collecting, and I like seeing other people's fun of collecting. Even if I'm not interested in it, it's like, oh, you like this? Cool. And sometimes I learn things, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe I am interested in that, and I just grab it up.
Yeah, same way. Like,
Yeah.
well, my little group of, we call it our little corner of YouTube. Our friends, we're the worst influence on each other because
Mhm.
we're sending each other pictures of stuff that are coming out that maybe the other ones don't care about, or what, not even in the videos, but just back and forth. Like, hey, have you guys seen this? I'm like, son of a bitch. I didn't know I wanted that.
Yeah.
So I can't not say how awesome it was to meet Ace at PowerCon.
That's
Again,
another one. Yeah.
nicest dude, incredible work ethic on that guy. I think that's probably, out of all those folks that I've met, that's probably the common thread. Like, whatever anyone feels about any person, it's really hard to deny that these people don't hustle for what they love. Whether it's Jason, Spiro, Ace, Ramen, the Mythic Legion's Four Horsemen folks, Bobby. I mean, all these guys, you meet these toy creators, especially on the indie side of things, and it's like these guys they're so passionate about what they do that they were basically willing to risk it all. And that's why when people say, like, when I hear collectors say it's just toys, I get that. I get that when it's me and you talking. Like, if you and me are arguing back and forth about Action Force, like you're telling me it's a piece of crap, I'm telling you I love it, or vice versa.
Right.
For us to get personal on stuff, it is just toys, and it's ridiculous. Like, me hating you because you like something that I don't like, or vice versa.
Yeah, ooh, I like the Spider-Man figure. Okay.
Yeah, but for Bobby, Jason, Ace, the Four Horsemen team, like, it's not just toys. This is their livelihood. So I don't take that lightly, especially when you get to know them and you realize what all they're putting into it. So I think people can chill out a little bit. The anonymity of the internet makes it easy.
Right. My struggle is like, I'm okay if you don't like a line, or if you don't like this toy or anything like that. I can't stand a liar when their justification is a lie. That bothers the crap out of me.
Yeah, I can get behind that. And I've told people before, like the weird flip side of doing YouTube videos is, like, you'd be surprised how many times I'm only called honest when I hate something, rather than when I love it. Like, and it's not a slight on anyone. I understand it. Like, if I did that Destro figure and the leg was wobbly, right, and it was, or the Viper figure, I guess I understand it to a point where if it was a piece of crap like that and the leg fell off and I said it was awesome, right? People are like, "Man, you're full of shit. It's obviously not awesome," But, like, the idea of getting called honest because you dislike something, but somehow insinuates that you might not be honest because you do like something. I don't know. Maybe it's just in my head, but
we got a couple of good ones. Yeah, you sold me on a few toys because of your reviews, Kato. Yes, Kato sold me on AWOK. I mean,
he's just saying that. He's just saying that. He's being nice.
Yeah, people try to microsize things when they're not invested in it. Problem with people at toys is their a-hole attitude. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, there are lines. I'm not going to bash anybody on here. It's not the place to do it.
Right.
But, like, there are lines that I won't collect or that I've dropped from collecting because I met someone, because I talked to them, and I'm like, nope, I don't. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
going to make
mean,
a big scene about it. I'm not going to hold up a sign that says I don't think you should collect from these people because I don't like them. But I'm just not going to do that. But I'm not going to do it. And, yeah,
yeah.
and I
I
mean, a
mean,
lot of times,
I've had a few lines I've debated, and it's like I see something, I'm like, I may say something about the individual figure, but leave it at that. I'm not going to bash the whole line, but you probably
no,
won't
I
see
mean,
another one on my channel either.
no, it's just it's like that with classified. Like
Yeah,
to me, classified for good, bad, or indifferent. A lot of their figures get I get a lot. I get really biased about. I mean, it's just being honest. Like shipwreck. Thankfully, I really like the figure. I think it turned out well. But like I don't know. Maybe I would have been more lenient on it because I really freaking like shipwreck growing up.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you don't even know your own bias. But I'd like to think that if his leg fell off, I would have said he was a piece of crap. But I don't know. I try to be honest in my excitement and my disappointment, and that's what it is.
yeah. I mean, Shipwreck is a fave of mine, and yeah, I would have a little bias on just the character. Oh, I was sitting there clicking and it wouldn't pop up. I don't know what was going on, but hey, Wilhelm, what are you cooking? Just curious.
Oh man, I'm hungry. Um, yeah, I mean, and Ryan and I have talked about it too. Like when you like the person that, when you genuinely like the person that's creating something,
Hmm.
like there's probably going to be a bias there too.
A little bit.
Thankfully, I've not had any problem with an AWOK figure or an Action Force figure. Whether or not anyone believes that, I don't care. But
Yeah.
I've not had an issue with them. Everything did what it was supposed to do. Um, yeah. So it really, how much it would have hurt if the first batch of AWOK that I got, as much as I like chasing, or even the first batch of Action Force, if they just were trash.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have done. I just never would have said anything. I don't think I would have reviewed them at all. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've had
It's
two
like,
minor issues with Action Force, and it's really minor. It's one was Steel Brigade's gun broke in the package. As soon as I tried to just move it, it was broke. It was obviously broken in the package, but that's the one I was using for heavy weapons, so it didn't matter.
that's before Mark. Mark was doing the guns, right?
Yeah. And then when I got the Special Deployment Bone Collector, his gun broke, but I had bought the
Hmm.
10 and the exact same gun, almost in the same deco as in the 10. So replacing it was not an issue. It was just, I mean, if you know the guns, you'll look at it and say, wait, that's not his gun. But I'm like, well, two broken guns out of, I don't know, 30
Yeah,
figures.
but here's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure Bobby would have replaced it. Like, I don't think he would
Yeah.
have had any problem replacing
No,
it.
I mean,
I don't know that I don't know that I would have sent it in either. Same reason I've got like
yeah,
the weapons packs and stuff. I've been like, man, I'll give him an AR, or give him, AK or something. It'll all work.
yeah. I mean, the paint deco on the gun I gave Bone Collector is just only slightly different. It's almost exactly the same. So I was like,
I,
okay, no, not a huge deal.
I think my only I think my only issue with Action Force is how aggravated I am that I did not get a bloody Pandora or the bloody plant Pandora screaming face when I bought the head pack. I was like, please be the screaming face. So that's about as petty as my problems get, I think.
Yeah. I did get the Bloody Pandora because at the time I thought it was the only exclusive I'd ever get from Valaverse.
Oh, I got Bloody Pandora, but when I
Oh
bought
yeah.
the head pack, I wanted
Oh, the head pack. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted the variant screaming
Oh,
face bloody. That's
Oh, okay.
that's the only thing. I think that's the only thing I've wanted from Action Force that I don't have. I mean, everything
Yeah,
else that I've wanted, I've ordered and I've gotten.
yeah.
But there's
I was
that.
yeah, that one I was kind of indifferent about, and I got the non-bloody, so I was okay.
Yeah, I got the non-bloody one when I
Yeah,
got the head back, but which is fine. It's on the figure. It's on the
yeah,
standard
yeah.
figure.
When I bought that pack, I was really more concerned about the guns and the chest piece because I was like, oh god, those look so good that I actually thought that made her character much better. So
Yeah.
that's the parts I was really concerned with.
I mean, it's a lot of cool stuff, man. It's a great time to collect like indie stuff. And I don't know. I mean, if I keep saying I'm going to collect indie stuff and Bobby gets like super famous with the figures, like I guess I just have to stop. Like once his stuff gets in Target or Walmart, I just got to be like, you're not indie anymore. I can't like
Yeah,
it. So,
yeah.
no,
Just so
I
you
wish.
know, Wilhelm is cooking some Italian sausage and rigatoni.
I don't know. That sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I think we're doing. You know what? I think we're doing rigatoni and chicken
Oh,
and sun-dried tomatoes. Yeah. See now I'm just thinking about food. Um,
okay. I
do
asked
you
before we
do
came
do you
on.
do dioramas much? Do you buy dioramas or set pieces or anything for photos?
Most of mine are.
Well, all right. This is round three that he got disconnected. The first time we gave away his entire collection. The second time we gave away his car. This time, first person to write into the comment section, "Give me your house." You win the title to Robert's house. He'll mail you the title, free and clear. And yeah, just all we'll need is your mother's maiden name, the last four of your social, and your dog, your first pet. Sorry, I've been every time you get disconnected, I give away more of your stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were asking about dioramas. I've got most of my stuff is 1/18 scale. I've got a few backdrops that can do either or. That's most of my stuff. Yeah, I got a few things. I got a few set pieces for 1/12, but not many.
Yeah, I just ordered my wife just ordered for me like a ton of stuff from Temu,
Oh,
however
cool.
evil that place is. But like, man, there's some cool stuff out there for 112.
There is.
So I got an extreme sets, extreme sets
Yeah.
backdrop. Yeah. So I
Oh,
gotten a couple of theirs, but the latest one is the mansion set, which is what I
yeah.
use to do reviews now. That's my backdrop for reviews. But I was like, man, this just needs some stuff in it. And she found on there, man, I've got some cool, like a sofa, a
Nice.
small chair, bookcase with some books. It's ridiculous. You'll see them in videos coming up, but
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm just excited about that. It's just awesome.
I meant to tell you a funny thing. You just posted a picture of Steel Brigade at that mansion set, I think.
Oh yeah, I did. Yep.
Yeah. What was funny was when I saw that, I was watching this video about what the fourth Halloween movie was going to be with John Carpenter
Yeah.
because he wrote the original script, and I'm watching that, and then I peeped down, and I'm like, why is Kato posting stuff with Michael Myers? Because I couldn't see the Spielberg version.
Yeah. I guess
And then I went,
that's exactly what it would
oh,
look like. Yeah, I could see that. So yeah,
yeah,
let's check this out. This was the stuff that I got in before. So she's painted it since then. So the sofa and the chair don't look like this anymore. But I mean, that's
that
the
is
fire.
nice.
Yeah, fireplace. See the bookcase back there, table with some
I
whiskey
love
on
it.
it. And
Yeah.
that's what I was doing when Destro broke. Right.
Oh, okay.
So celebrating a big deal they made, I guess. Yeah. So she just got finished painting the sofa and the chair and the fireplace. so it'll match everything and won't be so picnic looking. But yeah, and I've never done that. Like taking photos, not my thing. People
Mhm.
that are good at that blow my mind. Got a buddy, started News by 82. Hasn't been doing much on YouTube lately, but he's been doing some. If you don't follow World of Posers on Facebook, I recommend it because they do some. There's some talented folks in there doing photos.
I will head up very soon.
Yeah, it's just blows my mind what people can do with like a few really clever set pieces and some knowledge of how to properly use a camera, which I have some decent set pieces now, but the knowledge of using the camera, I not so much. But we'll see how it goes because it's fun.
Sure enough, man. All right. My internet's really getting bad, so I think we're going to just wrap it up just because I don't want to cut out and be gone.
I think I got most of that. I think you said your internet's getting bad, and wrap it up.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Anything you want to say real quick before we cut out?
Thanks, man. I love sitting around and just shooting the shit about toys or whatever.
Okay.
So thank you for inviting me on. I was thrilled to be here. I appreciate it.
Okay. I'm thrilled you came. Thank you so much for coming on. I wish we could have talked longer, but like I said, my internet's cutting out, so I don't want to be cut off and then we just can't talk anymore. But we will do it.
Very, very enjoyable hour. I thank you very much for the conversation.
Hey, I thank you so much for accepting my invitation and coming by. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see more stuff that you do on your channel. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, sir.